Hey, good morning from the office. I'm your host, BKP. We're North Georgia's only live online morning show. Um, First, before we get started, I want to thank each and every one of you out there. So many of you sent me messages and posted on Facebook and so many things. Thank you very much for all the kind words. Before we get started, that is our email address up there, and the way you can get in touch with us. Always have right here. You can text me at that number all through the show and just say, hey, I don't like what you're saying. I like what you're saying. I disagree. I agree. I could care less. Whatever. Write it. Put it up there. Send it to me. You know, it's call me there 24/7, email address, and all the ways to follow us on social media. Now, I'm coming to you from Studio B. I started last week of putting up my flag over here, my Trump flag, and this over here is the Rat Pack. Trying to get, I'm going to get some glare stuff to take the glare off it so you'll be able to see it. But I want to turn the entire studio into the viewers room, meaning if you, yes, I'm going to get a picture of the all-star panel and put up here, each and every one of you. If you would like to send something for the wall, first of all, I have to approve it. I know how you can be out there. Text it to me, 706-889-9700. I want to fill the wall up. We're going to get back to some things today. Okay, we're going to get back. I appreciate everybody yesterday, but if you're a new viewer and you're sensitive, and I'm just being upfront, and you're sensitive, I want you to hang in here, but we're going to deal with some, what's behind the scenes. So I think, I don't have time, but I think I get it. The coronavirus, I get it. I get COVID-19. I get what it's doing to families. I get it. I'm studying this. We have every Friday, if you go in the archives, if you go to FYN TV, Fetch Your News, okay, and you go on the playlist, Ask the Doc, we have done the most in-depth, accurate segments concerning the coronavirus with some major medical players that know what they're doing. So I get it, but I have to live. I have my Constitution. I got to find out if my governor can walk and chew gum at the same time. Well, you're sitting back and you're saying, wow, that is very insensitive. Okay. That's insensitive. Why, this is not the time to say those kind of things. Put up number 3 so I can say this once again. Now, I don't know where you're at. If you're in Pennsylvania, I don't really care for your governor. If you're in Detroit, if you're in Michigan, I don't really care for your governor. If you're in New York, I don't really care for your governor. If you're in Illinois, I don't care for your governor. I could go on and on of governors I do not care for. But this guy here, number 3, is the governor of Georgia. And if you would have asked me just a year ago, how do you feel about the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp? I would have said, this is the guy, number two. This is the guy I really like right here. The guy that's shaking Donald's hand, the president of the United States. This is the guy I think will do and keep his campaign promises that he made. This is the conservative. You do realize it's 100 and some years, okay? I don't know the fact, but you do realize it's been a long, long time since Georgia has had a Republican governor. Well, wait a minute. You just had Sonny Perdue and Nathan Deal. No, Sonny Perdue, not being ugly this morning, folks, just throwing the facts out. Sonny Perdue, the governor of Georgia at that time, he was he switched parties. He was a Democrat. He is a Democrat, went to Republican. Same with Nathan Deal. Congressman of the 9th District of Georgia back in the 90s. He switched from Democrat to Republican. Brian Kemp is the first Republican governor that he has been a Republican since the day he came into the party. I mean, not the day he came into the party, the day he came into politics. There you go. But anyhow, number 3, put it back there. I know you're going to wonder how insensitive I am. Okay. I am going to be so insensitive that I want to know if this guy is running the coronavirus task force of Georgia on a daily basis and if he's also got a pack of gum and can chew it at the same time. I want to know what's going on, okay? Now, I think he should, and everybody's going to say, well, the timing's not right again. Give me number 6. This is the great senator from, I'm being very facetious. Is that the word? This is the junior senator, wealthiest member of Congress, appointed by Governor Brian Kemp, Kelly Loeffler, which has traded a couple stocks at an opportune time after coming out of a confidential briefing on the coronavirus. Yes. That's what we'll do. All right. And we do feel this morning that Kelly should be asked for her resignation by the governor. Now, is that really how it works? I don't know. But I think she needs to go immediately. Oh, I'm just being insensitive. We have other things we must worry about. And here you are talking about this. A crook on Monday is a crook on Tuesday and on Wednesday. I didn't say she's a crook. I just said a crook. Somebody mishandling it from me. I didn't say that because I know they got their team of lawyers just waiting for me to say something. And actually, I probably have said a couple things that they're crafting the verbiage now. I probably get a cease and desist order. Stop talking about R. Kelly. Sorry. Now, not R. Kelly, our Kelly. Number 1, Brad Raffensperger. Let's go. This is where we're going this morning. I mean, it's coronavirus. We're going to talk about that. Number 1, that would be, is his name Bradley? I'd like to see if his name's Bradley. But that's Brad Raffensperger, the Georgia. And the reason, if you're out there nationally, pay attention. Pay attention no matter where you're at. Well, he's talking about Georgia. Don't worry about it. Pay attention because what's happening in your state? Because the Democrats are winning the election cycle. I told you this, okay? People got angry at me. I said, remember when I said, watch, the elections will be too close to call? Watch election night, all right? Watch what 3 weeks ago I said on the All-Star panel when the coronavirus hit. I said, boom. They will use this. I'm not sure Donald Trump, I think he will win re-election. I think according to the polling numbers, he will win re-election. But if you steal an election, you steal it. And this guy on the screen, the secretary, now Kemp is supposed to be a Republican, period, okay? Now, the reason I put Kemp up is Kemp needs to pick up the phone. The governor of Georgia needs to pick up the phone, and he needs to say, just like this, damn it, Brad, what the hell do you think you're doing? Why are you working with Democrats in the state of Georgia to turn it blue? Why? See, here's the thing. Sources tell me, is his name Brad or Bradley? That Secretary of State of Georgia, went behind closed doors, just saying, let's go right here. Let me give you number 56. Give me number 56. Who is this? Is it Nikema Williams? Is that her name? Number 56. She is the chair. Did I not send you 56? I'm pretty sure I did. Where's it at? Bada bing, bada boom. Give me a yes or no if I send it to you or not. Sometimes I don't send all of them. Let me see if I sent it. All right. No, where's 56? Do you have it or not? I just need to know so I can send it. There you go. Thank you very much. Sometimes I don't send everything. All right. There you go. So anyhow, here's Nikita Williams. What I'm getting at is, so let's go back to the last one. Can you go back to Brad, number 1, end that? So Brad Raffensperger is the Secretary of State of Georgia, okay? Supposed to be a Republican. Now go back to 56. My sources tell me that he had a meeting with her. This is the head of the Democrat Party, Nikema Williams, okay? And Brad says, look, I'd like to move the March primary but I don't want, this is just a paraphrase, it's just something I think happened in this meeting, but I don't want all the fuss, okay? I don't want all the fuss, or I don't want lawsuits, and I don't want Democrats marching in the street saying I'm trying to suppress. That's Brian Kemp. See, Kemp, you need to pay attention. That's Brian Kemp that you had the problems with. I'm Bradley. I don't want to argue with the Democratic Party. I don't want fuss. I want everybody to think I'm doing an awesome job. So if you don't push me, I will move to May 19th. May 19th. I will move our primary election to May 19th, and I will do this. I'll let you have the paper ballots. Paper ballots. I'm going somewhere. You need to stay with me. This is where I'm at. I'm going to let you have the paper ballots. Now, if you're not from Georgia, you need to pay attention because this is a national thing. I'm going to turn it national in just a minute. Okay. So my understanding is number one there. Okay. Number one. All right. Brad Raffensperger, Secretary of State of Georgia, said, I give you paper ballots. Secretary of State. Okay. Now, you know, several people in the state, House Speaker David Ralston has asked for safety measures to move, for safety reasons for the coronavirus, move this out to June, okay? But no, Brad's made a deal. Now, what does that mean? Brad, that's Raffensperger, Secretary of State of Georgia, is going to mail a request for a absentee ballot to every registered voter in the state. Now, Nancy Pelosi wants, and we're going to go national, same day registration. So on election day, you can go to this table and register, go over here and vote, or you could get you a ballot and write it in. I don't know. But Raffensperger made a deal, number 56 or whatever she is, you got her, with her, head of the Democratic Party of Georgia, Nikema Williams, go back to him, that he would send every Georgian an application for registered voter in Georgia, an application for an absentee ballot. Now, in the past, okay, in the past, you had to request an absentee ballot. You didn't get something, so you had to request it. And when you requested it, you had to meet criteria. There was a couple check boxes. I will be out of the country. I will not be available due to health issues. I cannot leave, whatever. And then you send it in. They send you the absentee ballot. Now, boom, you're getting it. You just say, I want absentee, no questions asked. You got it. That will drill down to what we call ballot harvesting. Do you know what ballot harvesting is? I'll tell you in a nutshell. It's just real simple. They will have absentee drop-off places. Some are out there yelling, you're so wrong. Not true, not true. I'm not wrong. Wait and see what happens. And a lot of times when they drop off those ballots, the people that count them may be on the Democrat side or put them in and open them. There's a whole process. Somebody has to open them, right? And it seems to be where the paper ballots work, mail-in paper ballots work, vote by mail-in. Democrats seem to come up with more than enough to win, and Republicans seem to go in the trash. 10 of those need to go in the trash. Well, that's just not true. Yes, it is. Ballot harvesting. So let me ask you a question, and we'll wrap this up, and we'll come back and go to the next level of this. Because what I want to ask you this morning, yes, coronavirus is real. Yes, COVID-19 is real. Yes, people are dying. Yes, it's a pandemic. Yes, they're shutting down roads. Yes, they're telling you if you can go to the grocery store and can't go to the movies. Yes, yes, yes. But what the hell else is going on in your state behind the scenes to steal, rob, and cheat when you're not looking because you're at home? You're at home looking out the blinds to see if your neighbor's car's going out of the driveway. Hey, 911, my neighbor's going, and they're not essential. I know they're not. That's where we're at. You better pay attention to this. So Raffensperger, and let me say, why did I start it with Brian Kemp? Go back to number 3. Pony Boy. I call him Pony Boy. I like the old feller. He's cheesing there right nice. But Pony Boy, right? He was Georgia Secretary of State when he was running for governor. So he understands everything going on over there. Remember all the lawsuits about voter suppression about him? Now I'm going to tell you who's cheesing this morning. And I tell you what, right here, 57, these two gals is cheesing. These sister. This is sister. Number 57. Right there, they cheesing. I mean, they're cheesing so hard you can see boop, clear through that gap in Stacey Abrams' teeth, man. They cheesing hard, these girls. We got them now. Sister. They're doing the shuffle. I'm telling you the truth. These two girls, that's Stacey Abrams. They on time. They rolling Raffensperger. The white boy's getting rolled by these two sisters. That's what I was telling you. I can be a little insensitive sometimes. That bothers you. I'm sorry, but that's how it is to me. When we come back, we're going to take this national. All right, he's just throwing stuff against the wall to see if it'll stick. No, I'll show you right after this. All right, show him the number. Give him the number up there. Give him the number. All right, there you go. There's the number, email address, whatever. And don't forget, take that down so they can see it. Today, I put my Trump hat back up. I hope it didn't offend you. But if it did, could you send me a message and tell me it offended you? It would be great. I would love to know you got offended. And we're going back to everything is upside down, turned, spun around. So we do our day today. We go back to our daily question of the 8 ball. It's the only way we can rationalize anything is whatever the 8 ball says, we go with it. I'm your host. We're going to take this national just a minute. I'm just not throwing things out there. I'll bring it home for you right after this. Take a break.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Sorry about the delay, folks. I always have to try to do text messaging and other things. We have a company we have to run while this is going on. Good morning from the office. Drinking out a Christmas mug this morning. That's okay. There's our phone number. I'm your host, BKP. Now, our guest at 9:30 will be House Speaker David Ralston. I want to get him on this. Number one, Brad Raffensperger. Okay. Brad Raffensperger is the Secretary of State of Georgia, and he has been asked multiple times to move the election to where you and I can go out and go to the polls and vote. We don't want him to take the steps to move Georgia to a vote by mail state. So it's a little lengthy, but we're going to play you a video in a minute, okay? Number 54, and we'll talk about it here. This is the beginning of a letter that was sent to Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger. And number 52 is the signatures. Number 52 is the signatures on that letter. David Perdue, Kelly Loeffler, Buddy Carter, Drew Ferguson, Rod Woodall, Austin Scott, Congressman Doug Collins, Congressman Jody Hice, and the last one, number 53, Barry Loudermilk, Rick W. Allen. Sorry, got a Amber Alert there. Sorry about that. Rick W. Allen and Tom Graves. So those are the names on the letter asking Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to move the election out further. Okay. So let me do this. Let me show you one more, and then we'll go to the video. Okay. Number 10. Okay. See this? Pelosi's coronavirus bill proposes election audits, same-day voter registration. Now, we're going to keep it in Georgia, but this goes to your state. So let me get my pen ready. I might make a couple notes. I always hear something different every time I watch this. Let's go to the video. Okay, let's go to the video. Okay. And let's start there and listen close. This is going to take a couple minutes to Nancy Pelosi.
In terms of the elections, I think that we'll probably be moving to vote by mail. That's why we wanted to have more resources in this third bill that just was signed by the president to get those resources to the states to facilitate the reality of life. That we are going to have more vote by mail, and would hope that we would have also some funding, which was rejected, for the Postal Service, which will implement the vote by mail, as well as implementing right now, getting equipment to where it needs to be when it needs to be by mail. But again, our election system, the integrity of the election system is central to our democracy. How anyone could oppose our enabling the states to have vote by mail raises so many other questions. But let's just be hopeful and have public opinion weigh in on that.
Well, I was going to bring that up with you. Joe Scarborough here. I was going to bring that up with you. The President of the United States said in a TV interview yesterday that if vote by mail was allowed and if more Americans were allowed to vote, he said Republicans would never be elected again. Were you surprised that the president would make such an admission that if we allowed Americans to vote safely and in high numbers, that there wouldn't be a Republican ever elected again?
Well, nothing surprises me about what the president said, but as I say, let's not go there. But I certainly, I believe that the Republican Party is a grand old party. I say to my Republican friends, and I do have some, take back your party. I think that that's necessary for our country, for us to have a strong Republican Party, and I feel sad that the president doesn't have confidence that his party cannot convince the American people about a path to go forward. But that's what elections are about. What is your vision for the future? What do you know about our challenges? How strategic are you to get the job done? How do you connect with the kitchen table needs of the American people? That the vitality of a democracy, having disagreements is part of that. Our founders certainly had their disagreements, but I feel sad that the president doesn't have confidence in his own party that vote by mail would deter any future elections. No, I don't think that's the case.
We have Willie Geist with us, safely socially distanced, and he has the next question for you, Madam Speaker.
Hi, Willie. Good morning.
Speaker Pelosi, we appreciate your time. Good morning to you as well. We've obviously, for the last weeks, several weeks, cataloged the failures of the White House, the failures of the president, the failures to take seriously what is now obviously a pandemic and a crisis in cities across the country. But the good news is we live in a federal government with equal branches of government, and your body has great power as well. So as you look back on the last, say, 3 months or so, do you believe that you all in Congress should have moved quicker? Do you take any responsibility for the slow response?
No, not at all. We have, first of all, we had hoped that there would be leadership from the White House because the president has to sign the bill. But we've had, as I say, 3 very strong bills that we have passed in a very positive way, again, addressing the shortcomings that we saw. Testing, testing, testing. That was the theme of our first legislation way back when. I do think that as we go into this 4th bill, that it will be important for us, for the Republicans, to recognize the challenge that is out there. Again, in these bills, when you're the country has a Republican president and Republican Senate and a Democratic House, you have to make your compromises. But I feel very proud about the work that we did, the speed with which we did it, the bipartisanship that was the hallmark of it all. But that also means that compromises were made. I hope that in this next...
All right, back to me. Let me answer this text. I'm just making sure. We got to multitask here. Okay, so Nancy Pelosi, first of all, we're going to break down 2 things. The President of the United States, go back to number 1, because we got to have Brad Raffensperger up there, the Secretary of State of Georgia. If we vote by mail, the President of the United States said, if we vote by mail, Republicans will never get elected again. Okay? What is Brad Raffensperger missing? The Democrats are so excited about vote by mail. So excited about it. Moving it. Every election year, they put Georgia in a toss-up, and then they start moving it over to the Republican side, but they want it to be purple. Every year they want it to be purple, and they say Georgia is purple, and now it's going to turn blue. Could it? Everything they're doing is about the election, and trust me, when Pelosi is on there smiling, and Brad Raffensperger there's agreeing with Nikema Williams, that's number 56, the head of the Democratic Party in Georgia, folks, we got a major problem, and you do too in your state. So let me just say this, okay? I have a headline here. Now we're not pro. Give me number 10. Okay. Pelosi, coronavirus bill proposes election audit, same day voter registration. Okay. Now, in that same article, give me number 11. This is a clip. The bill unveiled Monday includes a section called for grants for conducting risk-limited audits, sorry about that, of results of elections. I've told you on here that across the nation, you look at Michigan, you look at Minnesota. Minnesota's ready to come in, okay? And that's why, see, the Mike Lindell, the My Pillow guy, is from Minnesota. And that's why the media freaked, okay? Yes, it's because he used the Bible verse. Yes, it's because he's pro-American. Yes, he's friends with Donald Trump. Yes, he is a true manufacturer in this country and patriot. Yes, all the above they attacked him for, but he's from Minnesota. And if the My Pillow guy can bring in the 50,000 votes, look it up. I think it was at 50,000 votes. Trump was right on the edge of Minnesota. This is about politics. Yes, the coronavirus is real. Yes, COVID-19 is real. Yes, it is something we have to pay attention to. We have to handle. We have to shelter in place. We have to keep it from spreading. But don't let for 1 minute think that the Democrats are not using this for the ultimate plan. And that's what we're talking about this morning. We're bringing it home to Georgia. But can your governor walk and chew gum at the same time? I think Democrat governors are, because they're using this crisis that they never let go to waste to try to, hey, what if Michigan goes blue? What if Minnesota goes blue again? That could be red. What if Pennsylvania goes blue? What if New York goes blue again? That I'm telling you what, people, why do you think they are propping up Cuomo out there? The governor of New York's yelling loud every day. He's actually trying to beat back Trump from having any kind of poll ratings, higher ratings in the state. Just saying. Political. Such action generally requires a manual review of statistic samples of paper ballots to see if the official election results were tallied correctly. You are going to see Joe Biden is, I don't know what they're doing with Joe Biden. They have quarantined him, not because of the coronavirus, because he's a bumbling idiot, okay? And they're bragging and thinking, oh my God, Governor Cuomo in New York could be our saving grace of the Democrat Party to run against Trump. Who managed? See, they're trying to figure out as we go down into July, August, September, October, November. I think I got it right. It's going to start. Okay, the Democrats have seen, although Joe has X amount of delegates. Okay, the Democratic Party has seen that Joe's a bumbling idiot, and America's saying, "Oh my God, what if we had number 14? What if we had this guy?" Drooling in a cup. What if we had bumbling idiot Joe drooling in a cup coming out every day and babbling to the American people? So everybody's pretty much, oh my God, whew, we dodged a bullet there. No pun intended, or don't mean to bullet, beep, beep, or just dodge a bullet there that this guy's not president or whatever. And now in the next 6 months, the ad campaigns will blister. And maybe you put up, maybe the last thing on people's mind is who handled coronavirus the best? Is that going to be the issue? Who handled this pandemic the best? And would that be the governor of New York or Trump? I'm going to take a break. We're going to come back, and I'm going to give you some other things that I think governors should be doing. And our guest again will be Georgia House Speaker David Ralston to speak to his feelings and his need to move the election out and what his discussions have maybe been with the governor of Georgia and the Secretary of State. I'm your host, BKP. Let's take a brief break.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
I'm Jeff Riblett, President of Asset Protection Group. As a certified financial planner and with 20 years experience, I've helped thousands of families and business owners create a tremendous amount of wealth. Fortunately, most of that wealth has been protected. Don't allow an unforeseen life event, such as a nursing home stay or the next market meltdown, destroy your family's wealth. Be smart. Call me. Let's determine how best to protect your assets and preserve your wealth.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
It's been 4 generations of family ownership, tens of thousands of customers, and more Chevys than we'd ever be able to count. And more than 60 years later, when we say Days gets it done, we still mean it. With the North Georgia Mountains lowest Chevy prices, a huge selection, and outstanding customer care. See Days Chevrolet in Jasper, and let's get it done. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Find new roads.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. You know, it's 8:46. There is the way you can contact me. Thank you very much. Yes, I got a message because I got to clear this up. Leave that up there. The whole room is going to be belong to the viewers. It's the Studio B. And this is the way I'm social distancing myself from Destiny, who is running the she's running the Starship this morning. Destiny, great job. Emily, great job yesterday. You guys are awesome. But I was reminded that I do have, being prepared now, a really nice American flag that's going here. So that will have an American flag real soon, but it's a special built flag that's going there, and I'll let you know more about it. And when I put it up, the individual that is building it will build you one too. Okay, so we'll let you know. But the entire room, if you have something, take a picture, let me know. If you want to put it in a frame, take a picture, let me know. You want to put it on the wall, and it'll be on the viewer wall here, pending it's appropriate. I know what you're thinking right now. Oh, God, the word appropriate with him? How wide is that? But no, appropriate. You know what I'm saying? So let's get back to all right, why am I discussing? We got to get back to this. And why is this the issue of the day? Because what I am saying is my nerves are shot about what's happening underneath the veil of the coronavirus with these people. We played you Nancy Pelosi's clip. We have played you to where if the president said, if we vote by mail, Republicans will never get elected again. And, you know, Pelosi is saying, said president, failure, failure, failure. Remember, failure to lead, failure to this, failure to that. Do you take responsibility? No. And then they keep saying testing, testing, testing. Not at all. I take no responsibility. Now, let me remind you of something. I just want to bring you back around, okay? As you're bored, somebody said, my wife is going to hit me if I ask her again, what are we doing tomorrow? Let me remind you of this. What is number 51? Remember this? 51. You remember the Pelosi pens that she was handing out? Remember those Pelosi pens? Remember that? Okay. Okay, Rich, remember that. See that? Pelosi pens. Okay. Now, that's one thing I want to remind you as you're thinking. Number 46. You remember when the candy dish, the little old lady with the candy dish was giving out candy, how they were all excited, right? Pelosi was handing out of the can those pens. Can I get one? Okay. Now, let me ask you something. Let's see here what I have. Give me number 44. Number 44. Okay. This is the Senate, but this is number 44. Trump was acquitted by the Republican-controlled Senate on these two counts of impeachment on February 5th. February 5th. Huh. Now, let's put up this. You see, that was February 5th, right? Wait a minute, February 5th, because sworn I had another one here that I wanted to put up. That's February 5th. Hang on there, Baba Louie. Here it is, February 5th, right? Right there, right? Two counts. February 5th, write this down. Go to number 45. Number 45 on Thursday, January 30th. Okay, Thursday, January 30th, 2020. Now, February 5th is out here. January's here. So while the impeachment of the President of the United States, the ridiculous time wasted and the money wasted, the time that maybe Nancy Pelosi could have been saying, halt all this. We've got the coronavirus. We need masks. We need ventilators. They're all going nuts. The damn people crying about needing the ventilators need a ventilator. They're hyperventilating. Damn. So remember, February 5th out here, right? The President of the United States is acquitted on two bogus charges where people like Hakeem Jeffries, where people like, Adam Schiff of California, they're floor leaders presenting to the American people why this guy needs removed from office. So February 5th, one, he's acquitted, and two, you are happy as can be today. Damn, I'm glad he's acquitted because this thing could have got ugly and we need Trump now, right? But remember, on January 30th, that's number 45, okay, the Health Daily News, the first case of person-to-person transmission of the coronavirus COVID-19 in the United States was reported by federal health officials on Thursday, bringing the total of number of cases to 6. So while it was 6 cases, and we got our first person-to-person transmission in January, in February, we were still having a trial and completing the impeachment process, the bogus impeachment process that Nancy Pelosi, remember, she held it up. They gave out the pens and then she said, I'll send it over to the Senate. I don't know when. I'm just going to be a goofy, crazy old lady for a little while. And remember, she held it up. Let's get serious. Remember? Held it up. Couldn't get it out of the way. Now, while that's going on, February 5th, okay, stay with the facts. February 5th, all right, he gets acquitted. January, we have a person-to-person. And then in January, remember in the Senate, okay, let's go back to, is that number 45 or 44? Let's go to 44. Let's go back to 44, February 5th. Okay, he was acquitted. That's when the vote came up, all right? But remember in January when they were going through the trial, right? I don't have his picture. This lady Number 6, who took an oath, the junior senator of Georgia, number 6, was doing what? Sitting next to who? North Carolina Senator Richard Burr. Kelly Loeffler. Now, the guy with her is her husband, Jeffrey Sprecher. I guess his name is Sprecher. Who is he? For those new viewers out there, the guy there in the blue tie saying, I'm so proud of you, baby. That's her husband, Jeffrey, her senior, I think, by 18 years. Doesn't mean anything. Just thought I'd throw it in. You're making me proud. He's not looking at her. Let me tell you, this is my impression. People get mad. Okay, here's my impression. You see, I love to look at a picture and wonder what they're thinking. You see his eyes on her. Not that I always know you could do this, baby. It means someone, you're going to make me a lot of money. Oh my God, you're my little cash minx. You're going to just bring in the dough. He owns the New York Stock Exchange. Look him up if you have new viewers out there. ICE, Intercontinental Exchange. Look at how many exchanges he owns. Look at how much money that baby's going to roll in for him. I'm sorry, that was wrong out of me, but we're going to move right along. Okay, look at that. So February 5th, her and Richard Burr, I'm rolling. Don't look for me grammatically right now. Her, Kelly Loeffler, junior senator of Georgia, and Richard Burr, Senate Intelligence Committee chair or whatever. Anyhow, they're sitting next to each other in the impeachment trial. Well, there, buddy. Hey, how are you, Richard? How are you? You got good stock tips. What's your husband saying? He's the chairman, CEO, and owner of the New York Stock Exchange, which we'll talk later. They are briefed in January. Impeachment still going on about a private, about coronavirus, and they come out and file the appropriate paperwork at the right time. I don't know. If my dates are off, text me. Text me if I'm wrong. Text me if they didn't go to a meeting in January on the coronavirus, behind closed doors, vote to acquit Trump on February 5th. Here's what I want to. Will somebody text me immediately and tell me if I'm correct? Did she not file the paperwork to trade her stock 30 days later, or he did, before she actually cast a vote to acquit the president of the United States? I'd like to know that. I'm your host, BKP. We're going to take a little break. This is where we're at. Can your governor do two things at once? What's going on? I mean, let me tell you something. I mean, this is not a joke, okay? This is not a joke. Here is a headline. And this is down here in Cumming, Georgia, number 8. I'll put this up. Coming to swear in special policemen to enforce new social distancing order. They're going to 100 people to enforce. Hey, back up. Nobody. Just turn around and say, dude, you're in my space. And then, but we're going to have possibly special social distancing and distance enforcement. You've gone to the stores, right? And they're taping stuff off. There's a blue line at the grocery store. I don't know about yours. You're up here. And me, myself, I when I go to the grocery store in the normal world, I always stay back a little bit. It's none of my damn business. First of all, with the social distancing, look at the bright side. Nobody should be stealing your damn PIN number. When you're over there, like, get back. I got to put my number. I mean, that's, I guess, an upside. But if you watch the boxes they're taping off, like next customer, that you get close, buddy. We're gonna have special people. We literally got people looking out the window wanting to report somebody. Oh, we got to be careful with what's going on. I'm going to take a break. We're going to come back. We're going to wrap up my picture morning and then have House Speaker David Ralston with us at Georgia House Speaker David Ralston at 9:30. Take a break.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
I'm Jeff Riblett, President of Asset Protection Group. As a certified financial planner and with 20 years experience, I've helped thousands of families and business owners create a tremendous amount of wealth. Fortunately, most of that wealth has been protected. Don't allow an unforeseen life event, such as a nursing home stay or the next market meltdown, destroy your family's wealth. Be smart. Call me. Let's determine how best to protect your assets and preserve your wealth.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
It's been 4 generations of family ownership, tens of thousands of customers, and more Chevys than we'd ever be able to count. And more than 60 years later, when we say Days gets it done, we still mean it. With the North Georgia Mountain's lowest Chevy prices, a huge selection, and outstanding customer care. See Days Chevrolet in Jasper, and let's get it done. Days Chevrolet. Days gets it done. Find new roads.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Hey, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. We're North Georgia's only live online morning show. Now, before we go into our pictures of the morning, Don't forget number 16 there, Georgia House Speaker David Ross will be with us at 9:30. We're going to ask him about his request and where we feel we're at of moving the elections and why he feels in a sense of urgency to do that at this time. He also sent House Secretary of State of Georgia a letter. So let me go to what we have been doing on a daily basis. Let me go to, and this is as of about 6:45. Let's go to number 47. On 47, we use the John Hopkins Live, and you could do that too. John Hopkins Coronavirus Live Map, and it's easy. You can go there. So as of this morning, you could see the USA 198, 89, 189. I tell you, a transpose number, it's 189, 873,000 plus total cases in the world. Okay. Number 48, we're up to 42,404 worldwide deaths from COVID-19. I understand Italy has tamped it down. Today is the first day that I understand they're reporting less cases than the day before. So hopefully we have some good positive news in Italy, but that is the worldwide. Number 49. 49 is, this is 4,000. This is as of about 7:15 this morning, somewhere in that area. 4,081 deaths in the USA. Sad to report, my dad is 4,081. He is a statistic there on that, and that's the USA. And then we have the state as of of Georgia. Give me number 50. Okay. Number 50 there, deaths, Georgia is at 125, okay, according to that. And then number 27, give me 27. Here's the new cases, and they put Georgia in the top 6 today. So you can see New York, New Jersey, California, Louisiana, Michigan, and Georgia. And they moved Georgia to their graph there of total cases, 4,117. Now, let me say this all over the United States, okay? You don't have accurate. Now, I'm going to say this in a way, all right? And as you well know, I'm working on Georgia this morning, but I want you to think no matter where you're at in the United States, okay? Here we go, okay? Now, let me go here. In Fulton County, there's 599 confirmed cases, okay? New cases, number of cases, 18 deaths. This is me talking. You probably have over 1,000, if not more cases. Of people that have the symptoms, don't want to go through the government interrogation. If you go test, if you feel you have the symptoms, this is what some people have a fear of. If you feel you have the symptoms, you may think you could just get through it, because the minute you go test, then they put not literally house arrest, they put a tracker on you, and the health department will track you. Then if you become positive, they do a thorough investigation of who you know, how you know them, where you knew them, where you sat, why you sat there, how close you are. They do a thorough investigation. So cases are not reported accurately. Number one, let me go down here and we will go to, I will pick 15 cases. Dawson has 10. Dawson County right now has 10. Okay. And in Dawson County, there's 10 cases. They're not reported correctly. Now, those 10 may be reported correctly. But Dawson County, you have much more. You have many more cases than this right here. Many more. Okay. A lot of cases. BKP's on there saying, it's my opinion, it's not reporting FYN. It's not. If you have 10, you have a lot more on there. Let me give you one more. A couple more. Lumpkin County, you have 7. No, you got a lot more. You got a lot more that's not reported accurately for you. Let's say Pickens County, you have 7. No, You got a lot more. I'm just telling you, I've been talking to professionals. Things are not being Fannin County. We'll stop there. You have 4 not reported correctly. Fannin County, you are way over 4. Okay. That's why it's very serious. Now let me go down to the ones. Okay. And I want to look at something. I want to see in the ones if I see any counties. Now I'm in the ones that say 1 case town. All right. Let me just say this and I'll end with this. I don't see Union and I don't see Towns. And I'll just throw out there, Towns County, if you're listening, you have several cases. They're just not reported accurately. Now, do I feel reporting is being kept from you? Yes. And it needs to stop immediately. So the president needs to come on today and he needs to say governors, and governors need to say counties, and counties need to say health department, whatever it is, doctors, whoever's doing the reporting. We need to know accurately because, see, we keep seeing Dr. whatever her name is and Fauci come out and they keep, tamping it down and they keep saying we're up here and it's going to be grim for a couple weeks. We need accurate reporting. The states need to report accurately. President, you need to tell the states to report accurately. Now, let's go through some pictures this morning. That's it. Let's go through some pictures. I want to do this before 9:30. Give me number 43. Okay. And as you know, I watch MSNBC and CNN in the morning to see where they're going to go. And so you see that we're on a suicide mission. Jacob Hospital nurse charges lack of coronavirus protection gear endangers healthcare workers' lives. You notice they keep saying mask, 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 and they keep saying ventilator, ventilator. How come they're, what are they, nitrile or what are those gloves? All right. How come they're not talking about the gloves? Now, are you watching anywhere where it's saying we don't have our gloves? No. Masks, they pick things out. They have picked things out. Masks. I'm going to tell you, masks are easily produced. That really went bad, but they are. You can produce these very easy. And I'm going to tell you what, 3M is probably telling the president behind closed doors, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. We'll keep making them, but we can kick these out. All we have to do, we're kicking out 500,000, or we kick out 100,000 a day. All we got to do is throw a shift on, and next thing you know, it's 200,000-300,000. Don't believe, all right? This is a lie right here. Number 42, they want you to be in fear. Fear. Number 42, Bloomberg. Hospitals tell doctors they'll be fired if they speak out about lack of gear. Lies. All lies. Let me tell you what they do. They always do this. They tell the staff, I'm not saying about how, I don't care who it is. They tell staff after staff, look, we drilled down to these are the people that handle the media. Do not discuss things with the media. And that's not unusual. On a regular day, hospitals and healthcare facilities have media relation points, and you're not supposed to get in them no matter what. But they are trying to sensationalize that they'll be you will. It's something, they didn't just sign this. Let me get clear. I hate when they lie so bad. They didn't just sign this. Here, sign this week saying if you say anything, we'll fire. No. When you do your paperwork, it don't matter if they've been there a year. You have complied, said you're going to comply, and you're not going to go out of their media circle on your own. That's a done deal, been a done deal. This is a lie. Here's another one. How about this? Number 41, Julian Castro. He is the Hispanic Caucus chair of the Hispanic Caucus, and other U.S. reps call for a release of ICE detained amid corona. We got to release them. 40 Congressional Hispanic Caucus, ICE to release detainees. $39. Like sitting ducks amid coronavirus, families' attorneys sound alarm over ICE detainees. Mom, I'm going to get the virus. It's going to kill me. Son, you're on death row. No, I understand that, but this could really kill me. So they want to let people out. Now, to get this straight, they want to let people out. But at the same time, authority, if we catch you out, we catch you anyway, we'll put you in jail. Wait a minute. I thought you wanted to let them out of jail. Yeah, but we're only letting the non-violent offenders out. Well, I'm non-violent. So are you saying you're going to get me in and then get me out? Cuckoo. All right. Let me go through this. Number 30, coronavirus could pose serious concerns for ICE jails, immigration courts. Yes, that's who we're concerned about right now. Number 37, I like this picture because CNN this morning, 5:01 a.m., right out of the box. You can see on the bottom, nearly 185,000 cases, 3,800 deaths in U.S., Detroit, Michigan, New York, Miami. Hospitals are already set up. There's no patients in them. The government's ready. They're getting things ready as fast as they can. They're taking it serious. The hospital in what is that? Central Park. The tent hospitals in Central Park. Samaritan's Purse, Franklin Graham. They're ready. Yes, these are ready. The government's doing. The medical ship is in place to take non-coronavirus patients and use it as a hospital for non-coronavirus. Number 36, Trump said it's not the flu, it's vicious. It's vicious. All right. Then here's what they're going to do. I told you on the election. All right. Look at this. This goes back to, March 9th. Give me number. They're playing this everywhere. Number 35. Number 35. So last year, 37 Americans died from the common flu. It averages between 27 to 70,000 per year. Nothing is shut down. Life and the economy go on. At this moment, there are 546 confirmed cases of the coronavirus with 22 deaths. Think about that. I brought it here. Think about that. President stopped China. It came here from China. It came here from somewhere else. The president is dealing with it. Here are the three. Now, here's what I like, okay? I want to tell you this, and I got to get close to the end because here's number 34. There's the people that hate America. They hate America, and there is little Joe, little Willie that asked Pelosi and used failure. He set her up. Failure, failure, failure. Little Pelosi yesterday. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis insists stay-at-home order is unnecessary despite recommendations. Joe Scarborough is going nuts on him. He went ballistic. You can find it on Governor Ron DeSantis this morning, right? Here it is. Here's the whole crew, number 33, all right? Health officials urges Florida to issue stay-at-home order as cases surge. Here's the group they assembled to go crazy. Here's what they put up, number 32. 6,741 cases, 85 deaths, okay? Florida, okay? Now, leave that up for a minute. Joe went bonkers, and you know what he does every day. He went bonkers, and he really ripped the governor of Florida a new one and went ballistic, okay, on Florida. Let me just ask you something, Joe. Joe, are you not taking advantage of those great tax deals in Florida? Do you not consider Florida your residence? Why? So you can take advantage of the tax deals in Florida, right, Joe? You and Minka actually have to be in Florida so many days a year, and that's where you live and reside, so you could pay or not pay a high tax rate like Florida offers, right, Joe? So are you so disgusted by what Governor Ron DeSantis is doing? Would you choose to move at this time? Find somewhere else because you're not happy? Or are you going to stay and continue? Let's see. I really am upset. I'm playing upset on TV, but really like that tax deal. I think I'll stay. These people are pieces of garbage, okay, is who they are. They're out for themselves, not America. Number 31, White House virus could kill 100 to 240,000 Americans. Number 30, White House virus. See, they keep playing it up. They got everybody, their ventilators and everything. Then they got the little guy, number 21, Dr. Fauci on there. Hey, and there's the other good doctor, Brex. I don't know. Very nice lady, doing a great job. They keep saying, don't get emotional over this, and don't blow it out of proportion, but media seems to keep handling. It was a little calm. I watched that press conference. Now, they did not decide to tangle with Trump yesterday. Number 28, McConnell, impeachment diverted attention for coronavirus. Huh? Where did you hear that just a couple minutes ago? Right here. Okay, told you that. Look it up. All right, now number 26, CNN, economy could crash down 34%, nearly 34%. Goldman Sachs says we could go down 34%. Here is the guy, number 25, Andrew Cuomo. He is the governor of New York. We're at the apex of the curve. So who do you think is handling it better? Trump? They're lying about the ventilators, folks. The ventilators and the masks, they're lying about it. They have all those beds ready in New York. They don't have people in them yet. They got ventilators there. They're getting them there. Hey, could somebody just get a truck to go get those ventilators? That's true. You know it. Okay. Here's another cruise ship, number 24. It's out there at sea. Nowhere to dock. Several cases. Another cruise ship out there. Here's Larry Hogan of number 23. He is the chairman of the Governors Association, U.S. Governors Association. They have him on there. I just put him. They want to put the empty streets. Here's number 22. Here's a visual CNN wanted you to see. Here is number 21. And here's number 21. And they want you to see somebody with a mask on and, in the hospital. Here is number 20. Again, another picture, CNN, letting you know how many's died. Those are Samaritan Purse putting those together in Franklin Graham. Here is the ship, number 19, okay? The U.S. Naval Hospital ship Comfort in place to take on non-coronavirus patients ready. Number 18, our good guy there, Dr. Fauci. I know some of you dislike. Here's number 17, Deborah Brex. Is that her name? U.S. health expert. The peak is over in 2 weeks, okay? So in the next 2 weeks, it could be really bad. Here's one I want you to think about. Number 15, here's a headline. Portland to spend $3.5 million to house 660 homeless people in hotels during virus scare. The president said yesterday, maybe there's a whole lot of things that are going to come out of this. We're going to start washing our hands, What about last year when you were able to read throughout 2019 medical opinions of homeless cities and their own little cities and communes, homeless communes in Los Angeles and San Francisco and other major cities that actually were petri dishes to produce illness that could start a plague, take out this country. I mean, it's like, okay, so are we gonna be sanitize all the handrails now? Okay, so let me say this. Where was I at? All right. Number 12, here are the ventilators. Now, I just pulled this picture up. And if you notice every day, they yell ventilators, 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 okay? It's not true, okay? Hospitals are saying we could be out of these by X. It's not true. It's not true. Now, getting the ventilators to the appropriate places. Now, I don't want you to attack me because I can tell you right now, I understand what the coronavirus can do. And I say when this is over, because the media loves to hear there's going to be a round two. I've told you when this is over, okay, you're going to find warehouses full of respirators, full. And you're going to have warehouses full of these masks right here, number 13. Folks, don't take this wrong, but those are not hard to make. All right? They're not hard to make. And they're pumping them out by the thousands. So don't get all concerned. Those are out there. Here's the only concern you have this morning. My biggest concern this morning is number 14. This babbling idiot, Joe Biden, could be president of the United States. And thank God he's not now. And we need to do everything to stop him from being the president. Folks, I'm going to take a break. When I come back, House Speaker David Ralston is going to be with us. Let's talk elections and some things going on in Georgia. Take a break.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hey, we're back, folks. Sorry about the minor delay there, but it is now 9:32, and we have been talking this morning about elections in Georgia. There's a lot to go over, a lot of moving parts, what happens next, and the Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, and what part maybe the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, would play in all of this. But right now we have our guest now is Georgia House Speaker David Ralston. Mr. Speaker, good morning. How are you?
I'm well, Brian. Good morning to you.
You know, you wrote a letter. You wrote a letter to Secretary of State Raffensperger yesterday. I don't know if that's the date, but yesterday looks like the majority of the Republicans in the House of Representatives and our two senators wrote a letter asking for the election to be just moved out, the date of the election here in Georgia. What say you? Where are we at? And give us a roundabout why you feel we need to move this date for the Georgia primary.
Well, the primary reason is for the health and safety of voters, poll workers, elections officials, and all of those who will be required to be at the polling stations on May 19. If that were to be the primary day, you know, we can't tell the people of Georgia today that they will be safe in going to vote on that day, physically going to the voting precinct that day. And until we get to that point, I think it's premature to set this primary. But that's the primary consideration, and there are a lot of things that kind of flow out of that. Number one, I've been on the phone with elections officials this week. They're very concerned that they're going to be able to find enough poll workers to actually man all of the polling stations in Georgia.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I read the letter. I'm sorry, sir, not to. I understand. I just want to go to the letter that our senators have signed, our U.S. senators, both of them, and Doug Collins, Congressman Collins, along with Jody Hice and others, and Barry Loudermilk. You know, a lot of our poll workers are in their 70s. We just have to say that point blank. A lot of times, senior citizens enjoy getting out and working the polls, and we know everybody in the rural areas, as you well know, and they enjoy that. But they are that's the most dangerous age group, just to put it candidly, with this virus. And we are being told to care for our seniors with like fine china from doctors. But then how are we going to find? Because I already know several that are saying I can't work the polls this year. So how are we going to find? The only way to put it, younger people or enough people to sufficiently work polls. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just wanted to, I guess, highlight that.
No, that's going to be a challenge to those that are charged with carrying out the elections. The law requires us a minimum number of poll workers, regardless of how many people come vote on a primary. We're going to have around 8,000 poll workers all across this state. And the question is, where do we find them? I think we're going to have a real challenge in doing that. And so that is the primary consideration that I have had in asking the Secretary of State to push back the date of this primary.
Okay, the second concern, and I'm going to give you my concerns. I don't know who else out there shares them, but here's my concerns. I watched an interview with the President of the United States, and I watched an interview with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. And, you know, the president says, not to say quote, but if we go to vote by paper ballot, vote by mail, he said a Republican will never get elected again. And Nancy Pelosi is trying to actually expand vote by mail right now as hard as she can. And Democrats want that vote by mail. So what concerns would you have with Secretary of State Raffensperger sending out the applications for absentee ballots?
Well, I'm concerned about politicizing this healthcare crisis that we're in. We're in an unprecedented period in our history, not only in the state and the country, but the world, with this pandemic that we're in. And to use that for political purposes, in my view, is just so incredibly wrong. And so when you hear Speaker Pelosi saying that that's one of their objectives, and then you look at the people here in Georgia that have lined up to support Secretary Raffensperger's proposal. I mean, it's every extreme liberal Democratic group that's out there. It kind of makes you wonder what their agenda is. You know, I believe that if we're going to have that kind of fundamental change in our voting procedures, procedures that have served us well, have withstood litigation, have withstood Justice Department review. If we're going to have fundamental change in those procedures, I think that is in the purview of the legislative branch, where members of the State House and State Senate can consider and debate and discuss and vet these things, and then decide if that's going to be the policy of this state. But to simply have this become an administrative decision made apparently on the fly during this crisis, to me is just is very, very unwise and is poor policy.
Well, let me say this to the viewers out there, Mr. Speaker. Also, you know, I keep up with social media, and somebody on social media said, why, and I'm going to say it like this, why does Ralston want to move the elections? And let me say out there, folks, I have a letter right here where House Speaker David Ralston has been open, and he's open with us now, but I have a letter that's asking Brad Raffensperger, the Secretary of State of Georgia, to move the elections due to concerns, health concerns and safety, signed by David Perdue, Kelly Loeffler, as you know him, Buddy Carter, Drew Ferguson, Rob Woodall, Austin Scott, Congressman Doug Collins, Jody Heiss, and Barry Loudermilk, and Rick W. Allen, and Tom Graves. So when you see on social media that, you know, something that says maybe, why does House Speaker David Ralston want to move the election out, you actually have several supporting this possibly moving the election and discussing it with the Secretary of State. So are you hearing anything out of his office on moving, or how he's accepting these you know, requests from you and others?
Well, it hasn't been moved yet, and I don't want to speak for him. I have heard that he says he does not have the authority to do that, that it's that authority lies with the governor of Georgia or with the legislative branch. Well, let me say this about that, and I want to be absolutely clear on this point. There are two paths that Secretary Raffensperger can go to postpone the election. One, he can use the emergency declaration by Governor Kemp declaring a state of a public health emergency here in the state. Now, that one's closer of a question. So if he did not, if he chose not to use that, he clearly has the authority under the federal declaration of an emergency that was issued for Georgia by President Trump. There is no question about that one at all. He could use that. So he has that path. And then the other path is you know, we were in a special one-day session. I guess it was 2 weeks ago on March 16. We gave extraordinary emergency power to the governor during this time And the governor could use that power, and he could order that the election be postponed. The most non-feasible way is to have the members of the General Assembly call back in to violate every directive issued by the CDC and President Trump to do this. When God knows how long we would have to be there debating it. And the last time we were there for, we had 5 or 6 members of the General Assembly
absolutely
become infected
with
this. So I think that one is just that's a cop-out position. There are ways that there are at least 2 very clear paths that can be utilized to postpone this primary election.
So saying that it's outside of their window of authority, you've laid out 2 clear paths, but the third one, as far as having a special session, obviously we do know a lot of articles out there of the people that showed up unknown to have it, but it spread. And then I think for the most part, the House and Senate, State House and Senate, has been quarantined because of that. So that's the risk you're taking to go Plan C. Let me ask you a question, because I'm just going to say, here's what I'm thinking, okay? During the election, then candidate Brian Kemp, our Republican nominee running against Democrat Stacey Abrams, he was Secretary of State. So this is not unusual territory for him. And also he understands, as former Secretary of State before becoming governor, how many lawsuits he was up against. We all know it took a matter of time to certify the election based on Stacey Abrams and some of her team out there in special interest groups suing the state of Georgia concerning voter suppression. Would you not think that the governor would step in, or what are you hearing from him? Is he getting into the conversation now with the Secretary of State? Are you hearing him possibly making a move, or what comments?
I've heard he clearly has the authority. I have not heard any comments from him. And at this point in time, he has not stepped up to exercise the power that he has.
So nothing's coming out of my words, nothing's coming out of the governor's office concerning this at this time.
That is correct.
All right. So, but I guess what I was trying to lay out, as former Secretary of State and knowing Stacey Abrams, former Democratic candidate against him for governor, and the lawsuits he went through with voter suppression, you would think that he would know this firsthand. Let me move on to another question. And if you can't answer it, you can't answer it, but it's stuff we're hearing out here. And I want to put it out there. So Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, this scenario I'm hearing, has a meeting with Nikema Williams, I think that's her name, the head of the Democratic Party in Georgia. And this discussion was, hey, let's move the presidential primary to May, from March to May, line it up with the May 19th primary across the state. Do you know if that meeting took place and if he had any Republicans with him? Do you know who was in that meeting or how that went?
Well, what I know is just what I've heard. I know I was not invited to any such meeting. I do not know of any Republicans that were invited to any such meeting. And I do know that Senator Williams, who is also the chair of the Democratic Party of Georgia, by the way, has described the meeting to the media here in Atlanta as a summit. Well, there was no summit with members of his own party, so we didn't have that kind of input. But I don't want to, get into the meeting when I was not present and really have no way of knowing other than what I've heard. A little bit from both sides about what did happen. But let me just say that if the meeting happened and there was not a comparable meeting with the Republican leadership here in the state. I just find that almost unbelievable.
Yeah, I would think a summit and the definition of that, I think it would have been appropriate for her to bring a couple people and him to bring a couple people and have a long discussion. But I think, as we know, and I can't speak for the Secretary of State Raffensperger, I haven't spoke to him, just reading articles and other statements that he's made, but it would seem to me that going into a meeting like that, he would want somebody else. So there was probably somebody with him, staff, but our knowledge of what came out is obviously we don't know other than they moved it. I guess the point I was making, we know all too well in Georgia that immediately if you just touch an voting machine, you just touch thinking you have too many polling places in the county. You got 14 and you'd like to bring it to 30. You just touch anything and immediately them or their special interest groups have lawsuits going. And we all know that in Georgia, immediately the battle of the lawsuits, everything had happened. And it's interesting that they had a meeting, moved it, and nobody flinched. So, I mean, we're just hearing out here stuff like, hey, you know what, you move it, you let us do it, nobody argues, and we'll give you paper ballots in the area of like, absentee. We're hearing little things like that.
Well, the reason nobody flinched was because this has been part of the liberal Democratic agenda for a number of years now, and so they got done what they've been wanting to get done.
Elaborate on that and turn it into what are the concerns you have with the absentee ballot system that he is proposing and sending out. What do you think that could do? Could it jeopardize Republican control of the House and Senate in the state? Could it jeopardize, other races up and down the ballot in 2020?
Well, let me begin by steering away from the party discussion. I think the possibilities of fraud are incredibly prevalent in this kind of voting. I mean, you send a ballot into a ballot application into a home, and on a mass scale, as has been proposed to do, and you don't know who's going to vote the ballot. And I mean, we had all kinds of reports coming out of different communities in the state from the 2018 campaign where we had ballot harvesting going on by members of the Democratic Party, and so I think the possibility of fraud is very concerning to me. Then you have the problem of you're going to have people are going to have their personal data. Much of it is going to be loaded onto these ballot applications when they get them, and we're in an age now where people are very concerned about breaches of security systems and data systems, and so I would be concerned about that if I were a voter in Georgia. So that's kind of my concern. And then another concern, and this comes under the category of you can't ever do too much, because now I read that members of these groups are not just with voting by mail, but they want the state to give them a stamp. So here, the price just keeps going up and up and up, so a multitude of reasons why vote by mail, in my view, is not acceptable. But you're absolutely correct. The president said it best. This will be extremely devastating to Republicans and conservatives in Georgia.
All right, let me say this, and I want you to correct me where I get it wrong, because what I've been telling people is Normally you request, and let me get this finished and let me know. Normally in Georgia, if you want an absentee ballot, you have to request it. They send it to you, and there's a criteria there you have to meet. I'm going to be out of the state, health reasons, whatever. You fill it out, send it back. Then they will send you your absentee ballot if you've met the criteria. What we're doing now is, if you're a registered voter, you're getting sent an application for an absentee ballot. There's no criteria on the ballot. There's none whatsoever, as in the past. And if you send it in, they'll send you your ballot. Is that correct?
That's correct. This will be the first time we have had this, and it's going to be every registered voter in Georgia.
Right.
Let me emphasize, let me say that again. Every registered voter is going to get one of these. Now, I ask you, because I know you keep up with this, what was the turnout in the primary back in 2018 or 2016? Was it 100%?
No.
It's way lower, this is going to this will certainly drive up turnout, I think.
Yeah, we'll be trying to explain why turnout was so high. I got it. I think I picked that one up. Exactly. Look, Mr. Speaker, I appreciate you so much. We got a couple minutes. Let me just turn this a different direction. The Governor Brian Kemp has been doing several, updates a week, and the president is doing a daily update a week. As far as Georgia, can you speak to our relationship with the federal government and their response? Because Georgia is now up to, I think we're up to number 6 in the country in cases and deaths. But how is the federal government's relationship, the president and the coronavirus task force team, with our state?
I think it's good. I don't have any reason to question that it's not on good, solid footing. I think this administration in Washington has done an amazing job of dealing with a huge problem, and the president, I thought yesterday was very realistic. He was both realistic as well as encouraging to the American people that, look, we've got a couple of weeks ahead of us that are going to be very painful, but we're going to come out of this thing. And the data that I have seen suggests that here in Georgia we're far from hitting a peak here. That we're probably still a week or two away from a peak, so this is Dr. Fauci put a big number yesterday or day before on what we could be looking at in terms of a death toll, and it's just heartbreaking. But you got a lot of people doing a lot of hard work in many places, and I give a lot of credit to President Trump for his leadership through this time.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I appreciate that. Let me just say this, because in North Georgia, we know how the economic engine turns, and we all have our concerns of what's going on. But it's been difficult in your district here, drilling it down to the 7th State House district. It's been difficult up here to tell people don't come here, because that's what drives the economic engine on a good day. But we've had no choice locally but to do that. What say you to speak to people in Atlanta as Speaker of the House, and also say to the your constituents in the 7th district where you live about it's don't take it personal. We just have to, as the doctor says, slow, stop, and treat this virus.
Well, I think it is support for the position that I took a week or so ago when I advocated to the governor and through the media that I thought a shelter-in-place policy statewide, ordered as opposed to recommended, was the appropriate course. I appreciate the governor's concern for letting local communities sort of design their own solutions, but you know, the thing is, we're a very mobile society now, and so you know, we would not have had to do those measures up in Gilmer and Fannin County had the state been placed under a statewide shelter-in-place program, which I believe then, and I still do, is the right policy. And I'm hopeful that the governor will adopt that sooner rather than later. But you know, these are as I've said a couple of times this morning, these are unprecedented times, and they require unprecedented action.
Well, I appreciate that, because it's April 1st and it's not April Fool's, and the President of the United States has asked the nation to stay in till the end of the month, April. And I do accept that. I'd be the first to say, when everything started, Americans in a hall can't talk for everybody. Sometimes it takes us a little bit, like when you tell us we can't go somewhere, you know, that doesn't just happen overnight. But I will be the first to say that I think we have to stay in place. And I personally know that we have to stay in place, and we have to stop, and find a cure for this. So I appreciate it. Any final words you would like to, something maybe you wanted to talk to the viewers about or get out here today that we didn't cover, Mr. Speaker?
No, I just, you know, you, my friend, are in my thoughts and prayers. I'll leave that at that. On a personal note, my quarantine ends.
Okay.
And I'm headed back to the mountains today, and
well,
so I'm looking forward to that.
Well, we'll be glad to see you or not see you, and we'll
probably won't.
And we would normally, sometimes there once in a while we bump into you in a restaurant, but we'll not bump into you in a restaurant. Mr. Speaker, thank you for your kind words. You have to understand, all the people out there, you know, my dad was the kind of guy that thought Thanksgiving was a half day's work. So he just did. So I have to be at work and do my job. I thank you very much, sir. You have a great week, and have a safe trip back home to the mountains.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, folks, that ends our show today. We wrapped it up with House Speaker David Ralston, from Georgia, House Speaker David Ralston. We went all the way around the subject. I mean, I personally think that ballot harvesting and making a deal with the Democrats, Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, I'm sorry to say respectfully, you've made a bad mistake. And you hear clearly there's three ways: Raffensperger, the governor, or the legislative body, which shouldn't be doing it. I'm your host, BKP. We'll be back tomorrow morning, same time.